Oh, hi there. I don't mean any of this in a hostile fashion or any grave insult to the YouTubers who produce these series. But hi. Uh, this one is just about Kimi ga Nazuma slash, brought over to the United States as Rumbling Hearts. I feel of this particular anime that it was I almost bet money that when it was brought over to the United States that Americans would not understand it, and yet here we are, and we have a situation where yet again Americans do not understand it. Now, some of the critiques that I've seen of this series, where that are its fans call it hyper realistic, and when it really wasn't, I sort of find myself agreeing with you. But what I did want to say is just that we have this term. Okay, like Deal or Truth did his skewering of this particular anime, and I mean, if you want to watch his video, that's fine. He did his best. He was like, "I hate this anime, and it doesn't make sense to me." And I watched the same thing, and in psychology and relationships, we have this term, that it dates back to at least the 1830s, where nothing's so easy as catching a heart on the rebound. With Mary Russell Mitford wrote it, and a rebound relationship is an undefined period following the breakup of a romantic relationship. You know, so when somebody is like just gotten dumped, if they get into a rebound relationship, it's basically a romantic relationship that a person has during the rebound period, or the partner to such a relationship. When a serious relationship ends badly, these partners suffer from complex, conditional, emotional stresses of detachment. This is in combination with the need to move forward, leads previous partners to have uncommitted relations called rebounds. Common confusion exists around the extended duration of rebound periods. Simply put, one's critical core values in love are often still gravitated and polarized towards a particular person, i.e., one's previous partners, thereby preventing the overall development and accurate assessment of feelings for others during this period of time, the rebound, because true love requires complete mental and emotional commitment, basically. And in psychology, when someone who is on the rebound or recently out of a serious dating relationship, it's popular to believe to be psychologically incapable of making reasonable decisions regarding suitable partners due to emotional neediness, lingering feelings towards the old partner, or unsolved problems from the previous relationship. Rebound relationships are believed to be short-lived due to one's partner's emotional instability and desire to distract themselves from a painful breakup. Those emerging from serious relationships are often advised to avoid serious dating until the tumultuous emotions that result have, basically stabilized and calmed. And this is where I get into my issue with Deal or Truth. I've known about rebound and being on the rebound since the term was formally introduced to me, like what, 20 fucking years ago. I find myself wondering if these guys ever been in and out of a serious romantic relationship that are critics of it. Among other things, I think that for me, my metric for evaluating an anime are more purely about its storyline and if I like the plot in question than it is about critiques of the artwork. I did try to work my way through some of the, teardowns of this particular one, but it's like, how Haruka stares at pencil, and it's like, she's daydreaming. She wanted Tatsuyuki from the very start, and now that he's finally accepted her, offer to go out with him, she's, dazing off in excitement and dreaming about their life together. I mean, it's what people do when they're smitten with the other person, and it leaves me wondering, like, there are elements of this anime that are based and modeled off, reality. And so, Deal of Truth, I'd say that, the tatame, of the situation is that Shinji just wants to fuck Hayase, but the Hon is that he's in love with her, and this drives me up the wall about this particular anime. And of it, since it's my favorite, I would totally tell you guys to ignore the YouTubers who have trash talked it. The scene where Shinji kicks the crap out of Tatsuyuki is explained by Shinji being pissed off about the whole thing because Hayase has just come to him, in a rebound state and slept with him, and he knows it. Intuitively aware of it. He wants a lot more than to sleep with her, and Dealer of Truth thinks that he just got his wish when they got it on in the anime, and it's like it's not how the people that were writing the show were thinking about Hayase. They were pushing her onto the rebound relationship. She rebounded onto Shinji, and Shinji is pissed because he realizes that the only way that could have happened is if something happened between her and Tatsuyuki. And so, to defend her honor, he kicks the fucking crap out of Tatsuyuki about it because Tatsuyuki seems to be gravitating back towards Haruka from many years ago before the accident and everything. And this series has supposed logic problems, but those logic problems only like really exist if you don't understand like humans and human emotion and psychology, and you've never been formally introduced to the term, and to the idea of being in a rebound relationship, of all of that stuff, and you don't realize that Shinji is actually like a more complex character than it initially appears, and is actually doesn't actually just want to sleep with Ayase. He's got genuine feelings for her, that extend long beyond the desire just to bone her as a person. He's actually in love with her. So he didn't really get what he wanted, and that's why he kicked the crap out of Tatsuyuki over it. And all of this shows like supposed logic problems start making sense when you start looking at like real life psychology and what people say about rebound relationships and other things about real dating, in particular. And a lot of this stuff starts to suddenly start to make sense. I mean, yeah, on some level, the show was not meant to be one that you pondered deeply. It was more to be one that you felt, and more of an experience than one that caused you to reflect and think about it constantly. And so, you know, uh, it had its effect on me when I watched it 20 years ago, and I still love it to this day. And it bothers me that people are such idiots about it. But I found myself wondering how the hell is it that I got this one better than they did. I mean, I guess I would say that the tatame of Shinji is that he just wants to sleep with Hayase, and that's all he wants. But the hone of the situation is that he's actually in love with her. And if you did watch the next season of it, they pretty much confirm that fact. You can see it in like almost the very first scenes of the actual the actual their relationship. Like Shinji is actually he actually wants more out of her, and this whole thing just it drives me crazy. And so I would recommend this anime, and I would recommend that you ignore the crowd here on YouTube that's been trashing it. A lot of them, they don't get it. I mean, there's just something that's fundamentally off about their analysis that about them, and I find myself wondering, like, are these guys just like intensely repulsive to the opposite sex or something? Have they never been in like a serious romantic relationship? Have they never been in love with anybody? Because if they had been, maybe some of this shit would actually make sense to them.